Alright, so welcome back. Hoping you're having a fabulous day. Before we start, leave a like, subscribe, help us out a ton. Let's go. Listen, I don't set like goals, and I haven't done them in like ages, but 250, because God, I took forever for this guide. I put an insane amount of effort in. I'm recording this after recording the entire guide, so it's gonna be like a 30-minute somewhat video. I'm gonna try my best to cut it down, but I want to give you all the information I can, show you my run, and show you a little bit of tips that, again, I beat this 6 times, basically, right? And then I farmed the depths like 45 times. So I at least have some information and some knowledge that I can share with you. So again, I put a lot of effort into this. Would appreciate a like, and if you want to sub up, helps out. Today, Labyrinth Season 4, I believe this is. Let's talk about it. Just so you know, before we go into anything, let me also show you what it looks like. This is my my completion. I was recently farming. I was doing all of that over here. I just show it to you. This is what the shop looks like, right? It is 377 with the currency I currently have, and that is for one full completion, okay? Now, if you do the math, it will take you a insane amount of time to actually get to 1250. So that's like, what, 4-ish runs? And then once you get to 1250, you then have to buy this. So it will take you, let's argue, about 10 runs to clear everything out if you're going for full completionist, or 8 runs if you're trying to just get Mael stuff, maybe the gems. So you'll see about that. That's what it's going to do. It's about 350-ish per one run. And I could also be wrong about that just because I already did 2 stages. So let's say around 300 to 350 is what one full labyrinth clear in the depths looks like. Got it? So it will take you some time to actually beat it. Keep that in mind. Let's hop into the guide. Let's talk about it. Floor 1, 2, 3, and the depths of hell. Let's go. So starting off, when you first have your first selector, you will run into picking Hauser, Gilthunder, Griamore. You could go Gilthunder or, Hauser. Those are the 2 that I've seen the most people pick. No one really picks Griamore. Personally, I chose Hauser. His passive is pretty good, and he will be pretty helpful in just clearing some of the earlier stuff. Again, I also recommend when you do get to the end of the entire thing, that you have to re-challenge this most likely. There is no way you get like the perfect team off the get-go and then proceed into the depths. So you will be re-challenging this a lot. So again, when you get to that end point every time, make sure you are picking a proper unit for re-challenging so that you at least get through that, all right? So with the initial hordes, I'm going to try my best to speed them up as I talk here, because really they're not important and they're not difficult in the slightest. None of the middle area points are actually difficult. They designed this labyrinth similar to one of the earlier labyrinths where it's super RNG heavy and take that back. It's more, the bosses suck, okay? The bosses will freeze you. It'll always be different because some bosses will freeze you in a different area where it's like, oh, your king instead of your Escanor got frozen, or your Escanor instead of your king got frozen. The Merlin boss has so much lifesteal. The Liz boss may accidentally crit you and just destroy you. If you get with a type advantage character in that boss, it will destroy you. Overall, that's really it. But across the board, when you get passives, the ones you want to aim for really are the damage ones. I'm telling you now, the HP ones are complete lies. They're like bullcrap. It's as if they're telling you they're going to give you HP, and then you proceed to get no HP. Because in one of my runs, when I made it to the depths, like I had 3 HP passives that I thought would actually help me. They did nothing for me. So you have to realize for some reason the HP and the defense ones are bullcrap, but the attack ones are super good. Because with Merlin and with Elizabeth, you want to kill them as fast as possible. And in the depths also, you want to kill them as fast as possible. There is no shot you can outlive them because the dragon at the end will literally kill you. As soon as he debuffs you, you are dead. There is nothing you can do there. So I do recommend the things to aim for in passives are anything like, if you're running a full somewhat female team, I did see people like talk about that, where they put up like Freya and stuff like that, and they went for the female passive, which is good. Go for that. There is the just regular raw damage for a goddess, human, or whatever allies. In this depths, in everything, Goddess team was the most reliable for me, or Purgatory Meliodas and some sort of Margaret combo, okay? The characters, and I wrote this down just so I have this here to at least give it to you. Again, the gameplay will keep going. I'll talk when I get to the list part, but basically, the best characters to go for. The one. Why? He has a, when he reaches the 3rd turn, he will actually get immune to everything, and when you're versing Gother, that is great. That is very good. Gother will spam attack disable you, lower your ult gauge, all of that. The one Escanor is there to save you, okay? Also, in all of my runs, I have not seen a single ultimate Escanor. I think they listened and they said, you know what? Or rather, they saw, and they said, you know what? We're not going to allow that. That is pretty much bull crap, and, you know, we don't want people beating stuff that easily. So they kind of slapped it away and said, yeah, we'll remain with our broken, without the broken Escanor, right? So yes, if you were to look at it, they do hear what people have to say, and they do see that, oh, Escanor, like the ultimate Escanor was the clear through thing, similar to like the Merlin from the first one, if you remember that, the attack to Summer Merlin, that was like the clear character that you needed to use. For that, it was Escanor, and everyone was cheesing with Escanor. They didn't like that, they removed Escanor. So I'm telling you now, if Escanor was in this, you could have formulated a better human team that you currently did, and you could have cleared it so much better. I'm telling you now. But they did make, festivals a little bit easier to obtain in this entire labyrinth, which is fine, I guess. Mael and Goddess Elizabeth were always guaranteed to me somehow in every run. The one that I couldn't find was Margaret. Now, I don't know why the fudge that was, but I could not, for the life of me, get a Margaret in my main runs. I did get it one time. Out of all the runs, I did not see a single Margaret in all those, character checks. Was not there. So, realize that now, but they did remove Escanor. Little cheap shot right there, but they did do it. But yes, on to Liz here. At some point, I'll edit this there, so I'm there. But I'll continue with the characters in a second here. For Liz, what I basically did was I brought characters that were, 2 greens, 1 red. She is a blue. So your red character will freaking die. It is true. Hauser died right away. He literally didn't even get to survive for another second. I did get, again, Brawler Bond. Or I don't know which bond this is, but he was pretty good for helping me out here and there. He would constantly lifesteal and keep me alive. So another good character if you want to, in the earlier stages, get through a lot of the content. It will be that, okay? The next one is going to be green, which is Merlin, and she will nuke you, okay? She will, whoever the blue character is, she will destroy them, and she will lifesteal. She is very similar to the Sariel boss, but again, that boss more was you can't do that much damage. Here, you can do a little bit of extra damage, but she'll heal most of it back, right? So that is how this boss goes. It's super annoying. You have to use 3 attacks and kill with those 3 attacks. Liz was not too difficult. It will take you maybe a reset here and there to understand that you have to go in with a type advantage character. And again, the way they've designed this with Labyrinth was super weird in how every boss will out CC you and will guarantee 1 ult on you unless you can drop it, which again, they also can get debuffed. There is so much in this that is pure bullcrap, but they did it, so can't really say anything there. And also another great tip here, just so you know, when you are going through the first stage, let's say you beat that Elizabeth. Okay, screw Elizabeth, she's gone, boom, move on. You probably will lose a character. And if you do not worry. You lose 2 characters, do not worry. You lose 3 characters, you have the 1 left, you did something wrong. But I would not worry because you will right away get prompted with a revive, and then right after that, a character level up, and then right after that, 2 character selectors that will give you new characters, okay? So even if a character dies, most likely the character that dies is not the one you're actually going to continue running with, so you can lose that character. It is fully fine. After Elizabeth, do not reset just because a character died or 2 characters died. You can just progress a little bit more, see what those 2 character picks give you. Let's say it gives you Fairy King Harlequin. Let's say it gives you somebody broken, somebody super useful, Chandler. Someone like any Fez unit that's pretty top-notch still, not crappy. Any sort of counter unit, any sort of buff unit, any sort of debuff unit, anything like that will be very good. So check those spots before hitting reset. You will be fine even if 2 characters die. That's how it was designed, so it's okay. One more time to make it clear. If a character dies on Elizabeth's stage, you're fine. Don't reset. But moving forward with the characters I was talking about, right? Purgatory Meliodas is after that. There is again no ultimate Escanor as mentioned. Purg is in here. He is broken and super, super helpful. Margaret is probably the best character you can get because she will cleanse and she will save you, because the entire thing is this, for some reason, when you get debuffed, you'll get nuked. That's what some of their passives are, and when they debuff you, and then they initially, they'll have a gold debuff or a silver debuff, and then they'll hit you with a regular attack, and it will one-shot you every time. It's stupid. So Margaret is super helpful for cleansing when you do take too much damage, and then being able to deal back is pretty good. Then you have also with Gother, that's why Margaret exists, because she'll cleanse, so you can actually attack instead of just sitting there waiting for debuff cards or waiting for your Escanor to hit turn 3. So that is there. Counter characters. All counter characters are very useful. I would recommend getting Sariel with the Goddess team. That is a very strong one. You can go Chandler also. He's actually pretty useful. But the ones that I used were mainly Sariel. So that's where I went with that. Fez King is pretty good. And again, usually I can lie, or rather tell it to you like this, and I usually say, Trader Melly's good, this Melly isn't as good. I can't even lie to you here. Trader Melly sucked in this. For me, Trader Melly never actually did anything, and he would always just get frozen or attacked where he loses his buffs. So if you do get Trillion Melly, realize that it may not help you the most. But again, I could be just playing wrong, or I don't know what happened. Trillion Melly really never did too much for me. Purg Melly was what helped me. So Purg Melly Margaret combo was one of my runs for Jazzy's account, and that worked. That really did work. So I would more say to go towards Purg Melly. I would also say if you run Purg Melly, like let's say you lose Margaret, you can try to find Deanne. A Purg Melly Deanne combo, because she will tank a lot of the hits for you, is very, very good too. But the final Labyrinth floor, Deanne dies every time. I've never once had it where Deanne survived on that final depths floor because she'll just get destroyed. So Deanne is good. She'll taunt. She'll help you keep you alive when Gother is doing stupidity. That's also there. Another good unit to go for. Mael, Goddess team. That is probably the core of this. You need to run that. And again, also, I am kind of not saying this too much, but I want to make it clear. Any counter character will be very good too. The thing is, with Mael's team, you need Mael. So don't try to run Goddess team without Mael. I personally see that he is like the core of it. Though I don't know if they kept it the same way, because on JP, I did miss a few characters, and I didn't see them in my runs, but I saw them in Jazzy's runs when he has those characters. I do not know if they kept that entire thing. They clearly said we won't allow it where, you know, if you're missing a character, you can't beat the thing, but I didn't see some characters. So I don't know if you don't have Mael, which a lot of people don't. They didn't summon for that, right? They skipped the Goddess team because they didn't run him. So if you don't have him, I don't know what's going to happen to you, but check. Maybe you can obtain him for the team. Let's say it doesn't happen. You have to then formulate some sort of off Goddess team, which is just Margaret, maybe Elizabeth, and then Purg Melly, or remove Elizabeth, put that DN in there. Just, you have to change it up. That's how it's going to go, but I don't know how they designed it this time, because, again, I could be wrong. I think if you don't have him, it's GG, but I could be wrong. Do not take that as a fact. I'll get back to that in a second here. At this point in the video, probably I'm at that point with Merlin. So, with Merlin, you can clearly see here, I did all that damage. She is going to heal it back, right? So when she ults, she heals it back. She has a freeze, which attacks like one person, randomized. It's so annoying because when I ran it, it kept freezing Escanor, who was my main damage dealer. The other two were AoE characters. It's very annoying, and it's also in the depths too. They have the first two bosses. The first one has such high resistance, you can't crit him. Has like so much health and everything. You can't do, he's so much defense, you can't do anything against him. Super annoying, right? The one after that is like a weird crawling thing, the one from Story, with like, what, the Jericho's father or whatever? No, Gila's father or whatever. And that one is so freaking annoying also, because it will freeze you. It will attack you with an insane amount of damage, and then it will freeze two characters. So the third character, that this happens every time to me, the third character that spawns in will just have one attack, or no attacks, just die. It's very annoying how they designed this one. And again, what they also did was they made the first few stages on depths very hard, so that people wanted to farm reset, where they like do 3 stages, die, reset, do 3 stages, die, reset. Can't even do that, kind of, right? Because the first 3 stages are the hardest stages of the depths, which is stupid. The rest of it, after the first 3 stages, it gets so easy until the final stage. That's how that's also designed, which is stupid. But that's how they did it. Again, at some point in the gameplay, I keep going through passives and all of that. I mainly went for attack passives in my final run. That is what I went for. The HP passives never gave me any sort of actual benefit. I promise you, they didn't help me at all. And then in the depths, it's you mainly want to 1-shot or 2-shot. Like a second turn, at least kill them. Otherwise, you are dead because they will stack their damage so high where you can't do anything, right? So mainly that's what I went for. I did have more notes that I wanted to share with you. Bosses are Gother, attack disable, Merlin freezes, Liz is just try to get the attack advantage, you're good to go. Passives mainly were Goddess. So yeah, there on the 3rd floor, you will get where you have the ability to obtain a race passive, which is Goddess passive, whatever. If you're running a human team, get the human one. Whatever you're getting, go for that. I would say that Goddess is the best team to run in this, so try your best to formulate Goddess team as you approach the end, right? Earlier in the game, what they're going to offer you is like, oh, strength characters, speed characters, red attribute, blue attribute, they're going to get buffed. When you get into the depths, most likely your end-off team to run Goddess team properly has to be Mael, Elizabeth, maybe Margaret on the bench there. Realize that it's light and dark units you might be using at the end, which is Purg Melly. For me, the only one that actually helped me was red, and that was with my red Deanne. Overall, it was very stupid how they also handled that. I was not a fan of the entire idea of where like most of the passes at the beginning were useless. They made useless passes because if you are going into the depths, you're most likely using a character like Mael, like Purgatory Melly, like Goddess Elizabeth, like Ultimate Escanor doesn't exist here, so I can't say that. But, you know, when it's like Deanne, Margaret, if you have to get those passives and then aim for those characters also, because otherwise it won't help you. So realize when you are chasing it, those are the ones to go for. I never really saw anyone run an unknown team in this, so if you do beat this with an unknown team, have fun. I never saw fairy team. I saw goddess team, human team, and then just some sort of variant with like Margaret, Red Deanne, and Melly, right? But yes, the one tip that I can give you that also exists is just keep your sanity and take your time, because if you do try to rush this, it's not going to happen, okay? The way you have to do it is you have to go for attack passives. You have to make sure you can deal a lot of damage. You have to try and formulate a goddess team if you can. You have to try to get Purgatory Meliodas, get a taunt character, and try your best to do that. You can run a taunt plus a counter also. You could do a lot in this to actually make a lot of effort towards beating it, but you have to take your time with it. You'll have to, hope RNG is on your side. And let's say you get a bad run. Don't let that ruin your day. You'll have to reset just on like the side while you're working, while you're playing something else, while you're doing something for whatever. Try your best to just like jump in here and there, click a few buttons, and see if you can get a better passive, better character. It will take you time. I'm not gonna lie to you. I made this video it took me a day to make this video, and like not a day, but like hours, like 12. 14, 15 hours to get, first off, the proper gameplay, go through everything properly, and then proceed to give the tips that I've learned. So for me, this is hell. I don't even want to play it on global, yet I have to. But listen, take your time with everything. It'll be fine. Everything will be okay. Okay? Good. Now, once you get to the go through part, in the gameplay that I'm going to show you, I use the Escanor cheese team. In the next gameplay I'm going to show you, it's not the Escanor cheese team. It is actually just the regular, goddess team. So you'll see that in a bit. Don't worry about that. I will show you that in a second. But that team is what I really would recommend, the goddess team. Again, I'll let the gameplay play out as ever it needs to, and then I'll hop over and do live gameplay of the, or rather, just show it to you as I talk over it in the other view, right? So again, very annoying. Gother's annoying. I can't lie. They made a very annoying boss. It's stupid that he's that annoying. Really, how the hell can they do that? Like, damn. But yes, attack disable, bring a debuff character, bring a character with a taunt, bring a character with a stance, bring a character with anything, rush ults, do all of that. Get like, formulate your cards to where you can drag the cards constantly. If you are running like an Escanor team, right, you have to trade off all the other cards, keep Escanor cards as much as you can, try to rush Escanor's ult, use his cards. He will have to do the invincibility thing, bring a cleanse character, bring a character like Margaret. She will help you. There's a lot you can do to cheese this stage, get through the stage, but again, you have to, while also cheesing this stage, you have to prep for the stage after it, which is going to be hell also, right? So all of that has to be taken into consideration, that you're building your characters in such a way where they can take on the depths as well as take on Gother. Again, see what I'm doing here? So much you have to multi-manage, but I think you can do it. If I did it, you can do it, all right? Take your time, understand everything, you can do it. Now, on to the depths. So this is actually not the depths, I lied. I wanted to show you Goddess team first. So this is Goddess team versus Gother. This is what it will look like. It will be much easier. You have, first off, Mael running a debuff card, that is there. You have Saria with his taunts, though he won't do as much because Gother is red. You will take a lot of damage too. And again, I had no HP passives. For the life of me, I could not pull an HP passive. I didn't even want one, but I wanted to make it clear there is one that's like 200% or something like that for Goddess team, which if you get that, maybe 200% is doing something for you. But yeah, they're not stacked on anything. Mainly the card and the passive that I pulled for this run, which was immaculate, was 60% extra damage on debuff cards. That is Mael's card, his debuff card, right? So he was able to do a lot of damage on his AoE here and able to get to the stage there. You clearly see, and when I'm going through the gameplay, the previous team that I used to clear, which was not enough. That team was also not enough to get through the labyrinth. So I went with a full goddess team. And again, in this labyrinth, in the depths, you will see, some of my characters die. They do. I'm not even hiding it, not even lying to you. It is a hell of a thing to go through. But yeah, I can now farm it. I can now take care of it. I'll probably have the cosmetic in the next hour or two. But again, the reason they also did this labyrinth to be the way they did it is because they want to like keep you playing the game, and instead of making more content, they just make more content like the small content hard. You know what I mean? Also, you see in the gameplay, I messed up here. Whenever I mess up, but I was going against that character from story I mentioned earlier. I have to, so he has a revive. Again, I didn't know that. So many characters here have a stupid freaking revive. First character in labyrinth you'll go against. Here's the tips. He will be super hard to kill. You have to bring a character that can do a damage. You gotta nuke him. Taunt, damage, that's good. Counter damage, that's good. Mael goddess damage, that's good. Ult damage, you can't really ult. Don't try to rush ultimates because mine were always disabled. Unless you bring up a cleanse character that can take care of that, that's there. The second character, the big story guy as mentioned, he has a revive. He also has 2 freezes. Kill him, he'll revive about 30-40% HP, then you'll have to kill him again. He will freeze you. If you don't kill him, you have to have somebody that can cleanse or have somebody that can at least survive and be able to, all 3 characters can do damage, so it doesn't matter who gets, frozen, right? Next, there is a shop you will hit. That shop has a chance to obtain Margaret, has a chance to obtain other characters. Again, I went for full goddess team, so I bought Tarmiel. I also went and I skipped the heal because I didn't need it, but I should have bought the heal most likely. I didn't. All good because you'll get a heal at the end. And with Mael's team, this team that I'm running here, I was able to kill every single time without any problem, which was very good. So at the end of the day, that's how they did it. That's how they kind of, again, designed this where it's goddess team is very good. There's Meli's team is also very good. It just, those 2 festival units really shine for me. Margaret is also there, so your end team should really be a festival team, just from experience and from what I'm listing here. It's either a counter team as mentioned, goddess team as mentioned, human team variation as mentioned, Meli weird debuff cleanse team as mentioned, but you have to just, as the units I've listed, take those and formulate your team. That is what you'll need to do, okay? So that's basically where everything really does go. Again, I wish you luck in trying to beat this and try to clear this, but the depths itself aren't really too hard, and I do at the end. So with this goddess team, on my first run through, which is the one that's recorded, I did lose against the dragon, but it doesn't matter. I don't have to beat the dragon, I believe. I don't have to. What I really just have to do is get that currency, so I can just keep resetting, farm the first 3 stages, 4 or 5 stages, 8 stages, however many I need in Labyrinth, then just reset and clear, go back into the depths right away with the same team, and just keep clearing. Let's say you can only beat the first 2 bosses. Again, that's hard because there's no shot you can only beat the first 2. But let's say that's the case, just farm the first 2. I believe you can do that because I did that for like a good amount of currency. So unless I'm stoned and something's wrong here, I believe that is what you can do. So try that, go and attempt that, where you don't have to always make it to the dragon, and if you lose to the dragon, so what? Go back into the depths, re-challenge. Let's say, also, if you are, if your team is not strong enough and you want to, like, get with, like, the head start, which they give you, you should choose Margaret, okay? Choose Margaret. If you have Margaret, okay, and you got her in your first run, choose that for your second run, and then just formulate goddess team. If you have Mael, choose him, and then just formulate goddess team. If you have Escanor, choose that and just focus killing on go through, use that as your go through killer. But I would say that if you get Margaret and your team is still not good enough, just keep recycling her because she will be the carry of the century. If you get Mael, recycle him. I wouldn't say Goddess Elizabeth, but I mean, it's fine. At least it's one character already there for Goddess team. Meli, recycle him. Fezdian, you can recycle her. Depends on what roster you currently have at that time. That's what it is, and depends on what you want to run. But again, if I do show the dragon gameplay, he has a revive, which is super freaking annoying. And I was 1 health away from killing him, which again, it didn't happen. It depends if I show that to you, but I did die. And I didn't get to beat it. I just reset, and I would still earn the currency. I believe you don't have to actually clear the depths. You just have to get the currency for the depths. And hopefully I'm not wrong on that, which I'll check in a second here. But again, good luck. You got this. Take your time with everything. Hopefully my tips are helpful. You can use this gameplay here and just try to slow it down a little bit here and there. Go through it. Follow what I do. The early game should not be too difficult. Aim for characters like that Bond that I had. He will lifesteal a crap ton. Aim for characters like Fez King. Aim for characters like Fez Merlin. Aim for characters that are newer and festival level because they already will have innately high substats and will be able to do a lot more damage. So yes, you let me know down below in the comments how it goes for you. And again, if this was helpful, please let me know also. I did put a lot of effort into this, and I did write a whole freaking notepad here to understand everything, to make sure I get all my points across, all the characters and all the passives. Again, I did a little bit more less talking on passives because they really didn't help me, other than if your ult gauge increases by 1, it gives you an extra 10% or 5% damage. If you're if you find a 200% HP, maybe you go for that. If you find if you're running a female team and you get that female team buff, you can go for that. Personally, again, the teams that only worked for me were mainly a Meli team and a Goddess team. And again, the Escanor one cleared part of the depths, not all of it, but it will take you time. So again, as mentioned 45 times in this video, take your time with it, do everything properly. The one you have to, again, focus on is try to build Goddess team, head for that. Let's say that doesn't work, build a Purgatory Meliodas team. That doesn't work, try a Taunt counter team. There are so many units you can go for here. Unknown team didn't work for me. If you run into the, if you start the depths off and, you see that you clearly can't, just reset. You're not going to be able to do it. If you can't get past that first one, let's say you do get past the first one, don't reset also. You could make it through the depths. It's just the first two are designed to be extremely hard for some reason. Like, they could have done it where it scales, and at least you could beat the first ones, but they don't want you to farm it, right? They don't want you just to have to keep resetting the first stage. They want you to be able to, at least if you can beat those two, you can beat the rest of it. So, very little stupid mechanic there that they did purposely. I know they did. But, it's how they did it, so I can't really say much there. Overall, again, hopefully the tips were helpful. Again, I can quickly, if I have the list here, I can quickly go through it for you. The one Escanor is a must-have. Fez Dien, Purg Melly, Margaret, any counter character. Chandler, you have Fez King, also Trader Meliodas. The debuff Merlin does exist, which is also not that bad. Again, that bond, as mentioned, is also pretty helpful. I started off with Hauser, that's how I did it. Gother is pretty hard to get through. Cleanse, anything like that. Merlin, it will freeze you, and she will heal, so you have to 3-turn that, or 3-kill that with like 3 attacks. Liz, not really hard, go with the type advantage. And then again, passives are really too kind of simple. Don't reset. There's so many character picks you can get. Use the shops. I purchased a lot of passives from the shops. Purchase a passive if you need a passive. I purchased characters in the shop. Purchase a character if you need it. I also went, and because I had Goddess Team, which they didn't take too much damage, and when I had Festival King, he didn't take too much damage, I was able to farm more stages and do more stages instead of going for the heal, which gave me more currency to buy more stuff in the shop. That's how I did it also, which is a good tip that I kind of waited too long to tell you, but that's how I did it. Hopefully it helped. Hopefully, again, you got this. With that being said, I'll catch you in the next one. Have a stay safe, peace, and enjoy. Best of luck on your labyrinth clears, and I hope it goes well for you.